Okay, I'm ready for this. In Korea, there is something called the spoon theory. You know that saying, born with a silver spoon stuck in your mouth? Well, in Korea, they take it to the next level and they have a whole breakdown to this whole spoon saying. Every single person in Korea is hypothetically born with a spoon in their mouths. And there are rankings of spoons. And there's only a few ways that you can turn in your spoon that you were born with and exchange it for a new and better spoon. And we're going to talk about it all, okay? So let's go through the rankings of spoons. The dirt spoon. People who make less than $25,000 a year and have less than $125,000 in assets. The spoons are cutthroat.
$125,000 US dollar?
Oh yeah, the spoons are very cutthroat. Then you have the plastic spoon, the disposable spoon. People who make $25,000 to $50,000 a year with more than $125,000 to $250,000 in assets. Then you have the wooden spoon. This is the top 50% of the population with a salary of $50,000 to $100,000 and assets between $250,000 to $500,000 US dollars. Then you have the stainless steel spoon. Okay, now you're in the top 25% of the population. Every year, you're raking in around $100,000 to $200,000 US dollars, and you have about $1 million in assets. Then you hit the bronze. We haven't even hit the silver.
Wow.
You hit the bronze spoon. You are now within the top 10% of the population. You make anywhere between $200,000 to $400,000 a year, and you have assets valued at $1 to $2 million. Now that's crazy that's bronze. Now you get the silver spoon. You are now an elite. Congratulations. You qualify to call yourself a top 5%er in South Korea, and you make anywhere between $400,000 to $800,000 a year, and you have $2 to $4 million in assets.
That's only top 5?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Then you hit the golden spoon. Welcome to the top 1% with more than $800,000 to $1.6 million in annual revenue and more than $4 to $8 million in assets. How does it feel to be an upper elite? Then you have the platinum spoon. Not to be mistaken with the stainless steel spoon or the silver spoon. Oh God, no. This is the platinum spoon. This is the top 0.5% of the population. They make anywhere between $1.6 to $3.2 million a year, and they have between $8 to $16 million in assets. But none of that compares to the diamond spoon. Diamond spoons. This is the top 0.1% of the population. They're earning at least $3.2 million a year, and they have more than around $16 to $32 million in assets.
I gotta say though,
yeah,
this number a little goofy. It just seems like it's doubling every rank.
Yeah, they just be making up spoon theories.
Yeah, it sounds like a little inaccurate, but we'll go with it. Yeah.
So in Korea, the only diamond spoons are really the chaebols. And before I tell you how to get a diamond spoon, let's talk about my diamond spoon moment real quick. Listen, I would be lying to you if I said that I didn't wish that I was born with a diamond spoon stuck in my mouth. Like, the only thing that my parents are trusting me with is the ability to fund myself. Do you get it? Trust fund. Anyway, I'm still waiting for my Wang Sudong moment when my parents are going to say,
"Hey, Stephanie, stop making those silly, goofy videos, okay? Come here. Here's $100 million. I don't know, go buy some groceries."
And I'm going to be like, oh my God, for groceries? This is crazy. I get it. Nobody spends $100 million on groceries. I'm not an idiot. But I will say my grocery bills are still kind of alarming. And if you guys already don't know about Factor, it has me feeling like a diamond spooner baby without the price. Factor is a meal delivery service that brings fresh, delicious meals straight to your door, and all you have to do is heat them up. Like, if you're still planning your days and planning your meals, shopping for overpriced groceries, and spending hours cooking them, on days where I don't feel like cooking, it takes me less than 3 minutes to make one lunch that I inhale in 15 minutes. I have more time to spend with my family, to read a book, keep up with my Korean celebrity drama. And the best part is, Factor's meals are fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved, and prepared by professional chefs. It's almost like having a professional chef in your kitchen, if you think about it. You could unplate it, put it on like a fancy plate, Photoshop it, post it on Instagram, and people would be like, that's a trust fund baby. And then be like,
"Shout out to my private chef. You're the OG. Thank you so much."
That's it. That's all you have to do. And get this, if you really want to impress your friends and make it seem like you're having the bougiest weekend, you don't actually need to spend hundreds of dollars, okay? You can just order Factor's new Gourmet Plus meal option, and they will send you a juicy, tender steak, complete with those petite little broccolinis. Those are really good. All you have to do is reheat the steak, but it doesn't even taste reheated. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Just plate up your meal, fancy, take a picture.
Oh, so good, trust fund baby.
Factor just makes my life so much easier and better. Literally all my family members use Factor and everybody loves it. No groceries, no pre-planning, minimal prep time, and minimal dishes afterwards. It's also super flexible, so you can order anywhere between like 4 to 18 meals per week. They also have snacks you can order. I love their green juices, sometimes as like a little morning pick-me-up. And whether you're keto, paleo, high protein, whatever your diet preferences are, Factor has options for you. So do not miss out on premium food just because you don't have a premium bank account. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code BIS50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. That's factor75.com or click the link below and use code BIS50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. And thank you, Factor, for sponsoring today's video. And let's get into the chaebol. Che means wealthy. Pol is clan. So wealthy clan. Yeah.
I did not know that.
It sounds extra scary. No, they're basically a group, a family that runs some of the largest conglomerates and monopolies and businesses in the whole nation.
Chinese is 财阀. That makes sense.
That it does?
Yeah, that's the word, yes.
So instead of like, okay, imagine the CEO of Apple is Tim Cook, which I mean, he's a diamond spooner for sure. But chaebols are interesting because their grandfather started Samsung, for example, and now their dad is the chairman of Samsung. And guess what? Who's going to be the next chairman of Samsung? It's not going to be the most qualified worker in the force. It's going to be one of their kids. It's going to stay in the family. It's a dynasty, to put it simply. And these chaebols, they basically single-handedly run the economy. We talk about it all the time. They put a little toot out, they fart a little bit, the economy all the way down. That's every time Samsung farts, that's the economy.
The economy just up
and down.
and up.
Thank you, Sabrina. I love you so much, Sabrina. It's also commonly accepted in South Korea that changing spoons after being born it's nearly impossible. I don't know what to say, okay? They just say, that's the spoon you're born with, so you better eat as much as you can. Yeah, you better just try to eat with the spoon that you're born with, okay? Either you're born into money power or you're not. The spoon chooses you. You do not choose the spoon. But if you're like, you know what? I am dead set on having a golden spoon in my mouth by the time that I dead in my casket. There are only 5 ways that you can go about it, okay? 1, you have to be born with that golden spoon already shoved down your esophagus so that you can die with a golden spoon in your mouth. But let's say that didn't happen. 2, you can study really, really, really hard. Go to a sky school, an Ivy League in South Korea, and get a well-paying job, preferably as like something with a 사 at the end. 판사, 변호사, 의사. That's really hard because that's how everyone's trying to get their golden spoons. And you know what? I'm so sorry. Side note.
Stop looking at my hands.
3, you can be really talented or gifted at something, a protege at something, okay? Or a massive celebrity. You could be BTS. That's how you change your spoons. Or 4, you can marry rich. Or 5, you can win the lottery. Koreans joke that some of these are just fantasies. Like, it's hard to marry a golden spooner when you have a dirt spoon in your mouth. Like, the chances are as good as winning the lottery, regardless of what the K-dramas are showing you. So if you really want to change your spoons, that's really the only way. Marriage. But let's say for marriage, the limit is like 2 spoons. You can go from a bronze spoon to maybe a silver, maybe a gold spoon if you're really lucky, okay? It's impossible to get a diamond spoon in your mouth if you're not born with it. How do you become a chaebol if your parents don't own a massive conglomerate? You just marry one. That's the only way, okay? And there are roughly 24 well-known families of chaebols in South Korea. There's probably a few dozen more, but these are like the top ones. And most of them marry each other.
Oh, not the family members.
It's not Game of Thrones, but they marry other chaebols. Recent data compiled show that half of them opt to marry other chaebol kids. So this whole K-drama trope of marrying the poor girl that really loves the triangle kimbap from the convenience store and does not even care for Michelin star restaurants just like doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's really hard. If these people are marrying outside of the chaebol circles, guess what some of their top professions are? And they're called the general public. If they don't marry another chaebol, what kind of professions do you think these people are marrying?
Like TV anchor and stuff, right?
Yeah, so they'll marry the kids of political figures, or they'll marry actors, actresses, or TV newscasters. Like, you know how in America we just be like putting anybody on the news these days? You know what I mean? But in South Korea, oh, creme de la creme. You are talking like the creme de la creme of the sky schools. It is impossible to become a news anchor. Like, it's more impossible probably than to become a celebrity. And they be marrying each other.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. SBS입니다. That was so bad. But like typically the male chaebols love marrying female journalists and news anchors to the point where there's a lot of articles being like,
Is this appropriate?
are they like trying to do something with the media? What's going on? Stop sleeping with the media. Yeah, and these people, these very incredibly talented, already wealthy people are considered general population. Yeah.
GP.
Yeah, GP. Gen Pop, yeah. That's what they call them in prison.
What do we call them in prison?
Like you have the general population and then you have solitary confinement people.
Oh,
It's called Gen Pop.
What, you're like, that's a cool name.
We should have like an idol group named Gen Pop. I'm like,
yeah, GP.
you know who's another group that actually makes a lot of sense? Olympians. Athletes. I mean, this pairing.
I mean, that we get, right? That's like, you are, come on, you are like the peak of, human existence.
Yes, you're literally like the Olympic gods. Isn't that why they call it the Olympics?
Yeah.
In every country, these Olympians are regarded as the top of the top. But South Korea is a country that prides itself on being the best at something. So when a South Korean wins medals at the Olympics, suddenly that sport becomes the next biggest thing in South Korea. Everyone complains that they wish that they taught their kid ice skating since the day that they came out of the fucking womb, because then their kid could have been an Olympian. That's what they say. Korea had a strong archery phase. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We won some gold medals in archery.
Yes, we did.
That's cool.
And then ice skating phase because of Kim Yuna. Yeah. Literally every parent was sending their 3-year-old to the ice skating rink. And these 3-year-olds are like, I don't know what I'm
Sofa
doing
is
here.
3 now.
Well, we should send her to archery classes.
Archery, I don't know. She can barely like hold her own spoons. Like, what?
That's true. So anyway, you become a first-class daughter-in-law material if you are a medalist in the World Games. At one point, there were interviews held around the country of just random civilians being asked, who do you want your son to marry? And these little ajumas are like, Kim Yuna. And everyone's like,
Who the fuck is your son? Why would she marry him?
anyway, the focus of today's case is another athlete, a fencing silver medalist, Nam Hyun-hee. We're going to call her Nami. She starts dating a chaebol kid, and you would think that she hit the jackpot. Like, this is what life is about. She's about to be a diamond spooner. I mean, she was already doing so good for herself, but diamond spoon? But everyone around Nami, her friends and her family, they're trying to convince her, girl, more money, more problems. It's not going to be easy. It might even ruin your life. It's like one of those kdramas. Your world is going to drastically change. People are going to despise you for marrying into a billionaire family. People are going to want you dead or apart. Do you still want to do this? Nami was so stressed after they got engaged. She's thinking about it, and her future mother-in-law is texting her nonstop, blowing up her phone, saying things like, do you have confidence to become our house's daughter-in-law? It's not going to be easy. We are very well known in our industry, and our lives, not normal. There will be difficulties. It gets so unhinged. This is the story of the fencing Olympian Nami, who marries the youngest son of the most secretive conglomerate chaebol family in South Korea, the Chuns. But that also means pancake in Korean. Like, I know it's not spelled the same.
The pancakes.
Casino moguls with a net worth of $1 billion. The family. The Chuns, the pancakes. Because of the line of work that they're in, they're said to be a lot more secretive than even the Samsung family. There are very little pictures of their faces online. The only reason I know about them is because one of the BTS members, there was a toxic rumor that they were dating one of the Chun's daughters. Yeah, there was like a toxic rumor. Anyway, it was refuted.
One of the BTS member was rumored to be dating a Chung daughter.
Yeah, and then Hybe was like, their agency was like, no. Like, they were literally at a PR event, so hosted by the Chun family. So like,
What's going on, internet? Calm your tits. It's not that big of a deal.
I'm just kidding. So anyway, they're really secretive because gambling is technically illegal in South Korea. And to have a big percentage of your business focus on casinos, you just don't really want to be that public with it. We're going to get into all of that. But it is rumored that the Chun family, they only traveled in packs of 6 to 11. One Chun family member and 5 to 10 bodyguards that look like they have been professionally trained by the Secret Service. Sometimes in plain clothes that you wouldn't even know. Sometimes in full bodyguard suits with the little wire around their ears. The Chuns are one of the richest, well-hidden chaebol families in South Korea. They're not invisible, But it just seems like they really take a lot of effort to keep their private life hidden. But what else could they be hiding? Paradise Group is one of the largest casino owners in South Korea, one of the oldest casino owners. They are as Chaebol gets. And most Chaebols, like we've talked about, Samsung tries to keep their private life private unless there's a lawsuit, unless something gets leaked. But the Chuns are a little bit more secretive. And like I said, it's probably due to the fact that they run casinos.
So their company is called Paradise Group.
Yes. Okay. Now, they do own some Paradise resorts, hotels, and some retail malls. But I believe last time I checked, like 35% of their business is casino revenue. Now, here's why it's crazy. It's not like the US where it's like,
ooh, I bet the Las Vegas Strip has a lot of crazy secret hidden stories amongst the companies.
Gambling is illegal in South Korea, but they run a gambling business. How do they do that as a South Korean running a gambling business that is illegal? That doesn't even make sense. So in South Korea, they have foreigner-only casinos. We've been to one and it was crazy. Last time we went to Jeju, if you guys watch the vlogs.
Let me check my cash. I'm gonna go in with $10,000. $10,000, guys.
There was a casino inside of the hotel. So we're like, you know what? Let's go. You have to show your passport to prove that you're not a Korean citizen. His name is Chinese. He has a Chinese last name. They don't even look at his. Dan and I, we have Korean last names. So there was the whole thing. They like took our passports to the system. I think they were trying to check if we were dual citizens. Because if we're a dual citizen, it would be illegal for us to enter the casino. It felt like I was trying to enter the Pentagon. It was a lot.
It's like nobody in there.
Yeah, there was like 2 people in there and they were like falling asleep. And I was like, all right, let's get out of here. So usually their business is from Chinese travelers traveling from China to Korea to gamble. And the chairman of Paradise Group, Philip Chun, is worth almost $1 billion. Now, his net worth does fluctuate quite a bit. So if there are stricter laws banning Chinese citizens from gambling tourism, or at least restricting it, then his net worth goes all the way down. And now if China lifts that and is like, you know what, guys, citizens, you go to Macau, you go to Korea, fucking gamble, then his net worth goes, it's just nonstop.
Oh, you know, the stress of being a billionaire.
So Philip Chun is JJ's daddy. The JJ is the youngest heir to the throne of this. JJ is the Chaebol at the center of today's case. JJ is the illegitimate child of the current chairman, president of Paradise Group, meaning JJ's mom is not the wife of the chairman. And the dad had an affair that led to JJ being born. Presumably, life was not easy for JJ. JJ's dad, Chairman Jun of Paradise Group, did not want anyone to know that he had an illegitimate child, so he shipped JJ off and JJ's mom off to the United States, to New York to be exact, and just sent them stupid amounts of money every single month to keep them quiet. Maybe it's from the stress of JJ's mom. I don't know. It's stated that the minute that JJ was born, they just had a really weak heart. Had to be placed in an incubator the second that they were brought into this planet. And then soon after that, JJ had heart surgery. So JJ's physical stature was just not the best. Like stamina, not the best. Nor was JJ the most muscular or the tallest, which would probably play a role on how JJ's father treated JJ. Now, Paradise's Group's youngest son announces that they will be marrying Olympian Nam Hyun-hee. Let's call her Nami. And she was an Olympic silver medalist in fencing.
JJ is marrying Nami.
The silver medalist in fencing.
So JJ has returned to the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about to get crazy. So Nami won the silver medal at the Beijing Olympics in 2008, the bronze medal in the 2012 London Olympics, and in the Asia Games, she ranked 6 gold medals. On a national scale, she has ranked number 1 in the country in fencing 18 times. So if
in Korea?
Yeah.
She's the top fencing girl?
Yes.
Wow.
Which, side note about fencing is not an easy sport to master. First of all, it's pretty pricey to get into it. It gives me old money vibes. That's all I know about fencing. But it's also very medieval at the same time. Like, with peace and love, and this could just be purely out of jealousy, wearing those skin tight white suits with like caged helmets and swords, like you can't tell me that you're not sparring for your death in some sort of medieval arena for the queen's entertainment. Like it's giving that, no?
Yeah, it's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's cool as hell, but it's like giving a little bit of that. And this is, again, purely jealousy because I'm so uncoordinated and could never be capable. It looks super cool. The objective of the game is you have two athletes who use swords to attack and defend against one another. If the opponent touches a very specific part of your body during the match, they score 1 point. Traditionally, between two people, the winner has to gain 15 points. So they got to touch you with their sword 15 times.
Which is, I don't know, buy me dinner first.
But there's 3 types of swords that can be used in fencing. So for example, if you're playing foil fencing, it's like a type of sword, I believe. In foil, a touch only counts if it lands within the torso of the opponent, from the shoulders to the groin area, front and back. You cannot touch the arms, neck, head, and legs or feet. You do not gain a point. And the touch is only considered a point if the tip of the blade touches them. So if you touch them with the side of your blade, you don't gain a point. But then other swords, you can touch them with the sides of the blade, and you can even touch them, boop, like on the top of the head. Yeah, it's really confusing. There's like 3 different ways that you can play fencing, and it's a lot. Allegedly, it's one of the hardest sports to master, according to fencers. Because they say it's a sport that is strategic, but it also relies heavily on split-second reflexes and decisions, which sounds like every sport to me, but like maybe I'm an idiot, okay? But they're saying to analyze your opponent's body language nonstop is a lot. It only lasts like 3 minutes, and then you get a 1-minute break, and it's like 9 minutes total, but you're just like drenched in sweat.
Really?
Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of F1 driving.
I'm sorry, I'm just a girl, okay?
I always see them. They're like drenched in sweat afterwards, and I'm like,
Why, you're just driving. You don't have AC. I have AC in my car. Your McLaren doesn't have AC. That's goofy.
and then one of them was like, yeah, I lose like 10 pounds every time I have I don't know what they call it, a race. And I'm like, what? You're just driving. I'm just kidding. Don't come for me. It's so cool, right? So they're like drenched in sweat after 9 minutes. It's crazy. They say the footwork is intense. You got to be precise. And the hardest part is you have to use both sides of your body equally. Like you cannot have a dominant side. You have to master both and balance. It's a lot. You gotta be agile. So Nami is one of the most well-respected athletes in all of South Korea, but she's miserable. And her new love story with Chaebol JJ is like a Wattpad fanfic. I mean, just picture this. Insert your name. Y/N. Do you know what Y/N is?
No.
Like when they write fanfic, they write Y/N because it's your name. Okay. So you insert your name. And you're like, Stephanie was sitting in the lobby.
Okay, Mr. Mango Butt.
You want to be your name? So imagine Mr. Mango Butt married with a daughter, a precious daughter. And every day your name wakes up the precious daughter with a giant smile on her face. And when she gets home, like you got to force yourself to use whatever energy you have to act like you are so happy. But everything is not okay. Nothing is okay. You have retired from competitive sports. You opened up a fencing training facility because that was your life's greatest passion. But you end up hiring this man who is going to try and ruin it all. One of the fencing teachers that Nami has hired.
Wait. Nami has a kid?
Yeah, Nami has a kid. She's married and she has a kid. And she opened up this fencing facility.
And then she got a divorce?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then she has a kid. She opens up this fencing facility and she hires a fencing teacher. And this fencing teacher is accused of essaying a minor student for like a year straight. But rather than facing the investigation, he self-exits. Yeah, listen, I don't know how to even unpack that, but it's pretty clear that Nami was struggling. Like her facility is under so much negative press, even though she really didn't even know what that evil guy was doing. It still did send a message to the world and to parents like, hey, things kind of go hidden around here. So a lot of people didn't feel comfortable dropping off their kid at a place like this. Nami's relationship with her cyclist husband, another athlete, is just not fulfilling to her. And then one day, the doors to the facility, the fencing facility, burst open. Nami looks up and there's a man walking towards her in slow motion, surrounded by 10 bodyguards in suits, wired headsets, the earpieces, heads on a swivel, checking out the fencing facility. She's like, calm your tits. It's a fencing facility. They're doing like the 2-finger.
Clear.
You know what I'm talking about? The man walks straight over to Nami. She's like, how can I help you? You're Nami, the fencing Olympian?
Yeah.
I would like to learn from you. Oh, like a private lesson.
Nami is so confused, like, what the hell is happening? Usually people call, they ask about pricing, they try to negotiate the deals, they set up an appointment. But like, why is this kind of... So Nami starts giving this mysterious stranger private fencing lessons. And there was just this aura of mystery surrounding this person. Why the bodyguards? Who are you? What do you do for a living? But it wasn't this clean-cut situation. She starts slowly going on dates with JJ, and she's just falling in love. But it's not clean-cut. Nami's still married to her cyclist husband. August 21st, 2023, Nami announces her divorce to the world. She makes a public statement. There is someone who gives true, unconditional love to me and my daughter, and that is the person I plan to spend the rest of my life with. It was a really weird message.
So it's like a divorce and second marriage at the same time.
Yes, but also she never really confirmed the divorce. She never said, I'm getting a divorce.
Oh.
People were saying it's kind of when someone is in a breakup and they start posting about like they don't need a man. And then you're like, whoa, what's going on right now? Like that's what Nami was doing, and it just didn't seem like her. Like, what does that even mean? And somehow people interpreted that message as, oh shit, Nami's husband cheated on her. He must have. Like, why else would this fencing medalist post this like cryptic messages like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with someone who treats me like I'm special? Just felt kind of out of the blue. So her husband also gives a very brief statement. He actually confirms the divorce, and he said, we had a consensual divorce. Please avoid discussing others' private matters so easily. Which again, people are like, that sounds, you know what that sounds like to me? A guilty man. That's what that sounds like. Rumors start running crazy. And the next day, Nami did not make it any better. She posts this very lengthy Instagram statement, and it's so confusing. Like, if the translation sounds a little weird to you, it's not because our translators are bad. It's because even in Korean, the statement is just kind of like, I don't know what you're saying, girl. It reads, I'm Nam Hyun-hee. There's something I want to tell you about, so I'm going to write it to you very carefully. Many people asked me yesterday if I got a divorce. I'm writing after a lot of thought to answer this question. Yes, that's right. I got a divorce. There were some difficulties I couldn't tell you before I made this choice. I have a very precious child. I have been very careful not to hurt my daughter, and I think I've been trying very hard under all of this. I think many people think the word marriage means a 100-year contract, and I have always done my best as a wife. Of course, nobody thinks that they're perfect, but being a mother for the first time ever made me realize just how clumsy I was. But I have never, ever, ever done anything shameful to bring disgrace to my family. That is why I've always been forgiving and embracing the other person's mistakes and moving forward with my life thinking it must be a mistake, because maybe they made it because I was clumsy. But as time passed, I realized these mistakes were being repeated again and again, and I reached that threshold. The turning away of another person's eyes from their family home has caused me and my family members severe wounds. I am the daughter of a precious parent. I am the mother of a precious child. So far, I have been raised by my parents, blindly loved. That is why I am also the person who wants to give such love to my precious child, and I believe the only true love that can be given is blind love.
What?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, okay?
Too deep?
Yeah, maybe it just over me. Divorce is a bad thing, so I couldn't tell many people at once, but there was an opportunity for me to tell them the news later. I have a new person who gives me true blind love, also to my daughter's family and me. Someone who will be with me and my daughter for the rest of our lives. I will make that person a stronger, better Nam Hyun-hee as she is.
No, what?
Yeah, I don't know. She's like saying, I'm going to be stronger. There's more to the statement, but you really don't need to know. Okay? People took this as clear confirmation that her husband cheated on her. They're like, this sounds like a woman scorned. She's like, I have put up with so much and you. Like, that's what it sounded like. And it sounds like she finally met someone that would treat her right. People were very forgiving to her, which is kind of unusual. But I think people were thinking, her husband cheated on her, so it kind of makes sense. Comments read, it means the husband was at fault for the divorce, guys. This is going to be messy. Another comment reads, it sounds like she's beating around the bush of, my husband cheated. But everyone was happy for Nami. If anyone deserved a Chaebol heir, someone to spend $10,000 a night on a Paradise Group hotel villa with, it would be Nami. It's harder to hate on an Olympian than an idol. For example, a lot of people were happy for her. They only felt like, okay, you know what? Good for her. So once the fans got over the divorce, fans start seeing Nami posting more frequently about all the expensive things in her life. Like all the expensive things her new person is gifting to her. Like they don't know that she's dating Chaebol yet. And because of this, the internet is the internet. They broke down all the prices of her new designer goods. Dior bag, $4,000. Messenger bag, $2,600. Chanel cosmetics case, $5,400. Gucci t-shirt, $900. Belt, $600. Wool blouse, $1,550. Fendi sweater, $2,500. Dior cotton shirt, $1,200. Sneakers, $1,100. Cartier watch, $10,000. Van Cleef bracelet, earrings. Like it all added up. This is just what we're seeing on Instagram. And that came out to a grand total of $50,000 in like the span of a month. That is not including the fact that the Chaebol boyfriend also paid off Nami's loan of $110,000 and bought her a $300,000 Bentley SUV.
Jeez.
She also moved into the Signal Lotte Tower. I don't know if it's Signal. The Lotte Tower. It's the tallest building in South Korea. It's actually one of the top 10 tallest buildings in the world. I think it's ranked at like number 5.
What?
Yeah, the Lotte Tower. It is a multi-use building. They've got offices, a 6-star hotel, a residence. They have insane gyms, amenities, library, which rent on a place like that could easily be upwards of $50,000 a month. I believe that particular unit that JJ the Chaebol was renting was around $78,000 a month.
Oh la la.
Units to own start anywhere on the low side. You're talking like peasant. You're living on like the 3rd floor. $3 million can easily go up into the $30 million. Interestingly enough, I believe outside of the Lotte Chaebol family members who live there, because it's Lotte owned, right? A lot of conglomerate families do not live there, like you would imagine. They pick mansions in quiet, rich areas of Seoul with giant gates and privacy trees just to stay away from attention.
Too flashy, right?
Yeah, this could be the collective jealousy of us peasants on the internet, but people said, you only live at the Lotte Tower if you want to be seen. If you're new money, that's where you go. Yeah. Calling out the $30 million penthouse. Not everyone with money has class, okay?
Anyway.
So this is not the place for you if you don't want to be seen, if discretion is key. But there is no doubt it's one of the most expensive and impressive pieces of real estate that you can own in Seoul. So to put it in perspective, there is a lounge inside the tower and you have to pay $200 per person to enter the lounge, to like breathe the oxygen in the lounge. One of the main reasons that people go and pay that much money for these lounges is so that they can rub shoulders with people like JJ.
Remember in Korea, like one time we went to this little lounge area in this hotel, and then everyone in the lounge was sitting with their backs so straight,
Bruh.
wearing like Chanel, and
my
then
God.
the cakes in front of them. The environment was so freaking stuffy in there.
Like, okay, that was really traumatizing. So my mom was meeting up with a friend and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go downstairs to like the little lounge area. They got snacks, you know? So buy some snacks on me. I take my card, okay? The fucking bingsu there, which is shaved ice.
Oh, yes,
Frozen
yes.
ice is like $60.
Yeah. So apparently, like people go to these fancy lounges in like hotels just to buy their like $80, $60 frozen pinsu, like shaved ice. And it
Ice.
tastes exactly the same.
Same.
But people will do like taste reveals.
We did that. We did a
It
taste
tastes
reveal.
exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay. Spoiler alert. And everyone was dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
I was snooping on the table next to us. It was a bunch of I don't want to call them housewives because you know they could have been career women, but they were just talking about the schooling for their kids and like English lessons. And I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in a K-drama right now.
Remember, one of the lady dropped something on the floor.
Oh, yes.
And then the other 3 left. Yes. And when she went down to pick up something on the floor, when she got up, she bumped her head on the table. And then she like was holding it in so hard not to make a noise.
I don't even think that she mentioned it. And because I remember
yeah.
thinking, if you have 3 friends that you went to go eat bingsu with, you better believe if I bonk my fucking head while you're not there, the minute you come back, I'm giving you a full rundown of how I just bonked my head.
Yeah.
But no, it was weird. It was weird, okay? Yeah, that's like the type of lounge this is. JJ would network at this building. Well, I don't know if JJ was networking. JJ would just kind of like exist there because, I don't know, that's what rich people do. And then other people would try to network at these buildings because you know the whole saying, the rich keep getting richer, and the rich somehow know the perfect investment opportunity before it's even considered perfect.
And they know which industries are going to suddenly have a rise, and having someone in the local sphere can almost guarantee that you become rich.
Like, why do you think so many congressmen become rich off of stocks? You get the idea. They know the nose. JJ's neighbors are interested in investing in whatever Paradise Group's son is trying to invest in. Now, October 23rd, 2023, Nami and JJ do a now infamous interview. So at this point, everyone knew that Nami was dating someone else, had no idea that it was a Chaebol. Yeah.
So this was the grand reveal.
The grand reveal. Yeah.
Like on TV. What's the premise?
Announcing their engagement. Silver medalist engaged. Who's her new rich groom? Who's her new rich partner? Now, up until this point, the interview went a little bit deeper on Nami's new love story, but also who JJ was, because nobody really knows much about the Paradise Group. I mean, this was explosive news. The news went deep into JJ's life as the third generation Chaebol who lived in New York and studied horseback riding. JJ talked about how they would do horseback riding until they were unfortunately injured, talking about how JJ was a strong competitor in the equestrian world until they got bored from not being able to horseback ride after that injury and decided to get into IT and then started a mental health facility. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. The two of them talked about their cute little first meeting story, how they worked through all the obstacles and Nami's stress about becoming the future daughter-in-law of a wealthy Chaebol high-class family. They talked about how Nami would always complain to JJ about the guards that were constantly around. Like, they can't even get some privacy during intimate dates because look,
there's Steve the bodyguard just like poking his head around the corner.
Another time when they were having dinner, the paparazzi and reporters stormed into the private dining room and demanded to ask questions to the heir of the Paradise Group, the illegitimate child heir of the Paradise Group. The bodyguards wrestled them out, but Nami was shocked. Additionally, when Nami would get into JJ's car, the driver would just say, "This is the schedule, JJ. What would you like to do? Anything else you'd like me to add in?" And Nami's like, "Can we just not have like a day without a schedule? Can we just not like be alone for a second?" It was a lot. Nami felt overwhelmed, she will admit. JJ laughed in the interview and stated, "After fighting over this, I decided to reduce the number of bodyguards and change my attire from suits to casual wear." Yeah. There was a slight cuteness to JJ too, because JJ grew up in New York. They would heavily use Konglish, which is a mixture of Korean and English. And JJ's Korean was, I don't think that they have an accent, but it's just kind of, I guess to the native Korean speaker, it's not great. Like, you can kind of tell that maybe they're not a native speaker. So it's nice to know that rich Chaebols also have some weaknesses. It's comforting. It's great. It's reassuring. JJ also divulged in the business that they started in the US. It's
Like, who's the demographic for this?
It's a mental health facility for rich kids. JJ puts it like this.
Damn.
If a rich kid falls off a horse and now has horse trauma.
That's what it said? Oh,
Yeah.
my God. But tell us. I want to know what happens when they fall off.
So
the
if
horse.
a rich kid has a horse and falls off the horse, now the rich kid has horse trauma. The mental health facility will design a particular special individual therapy course for that kid to help them recover from the trauma around horses and falling off of a horse.
Wow.
They will work through that trauma with the rich kid to help them regain confidence again.
Because what is life if you're not at the Kentucky Derby?
What is life if you're not an equestrian?
That would make a hell.
Of a document, like
Yeah.
a reality show.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I want to see them overcome their trauma. And they finally get back onto the horse and they.
Oh, so good.
So that's what JJ was focusing on in the US. But allegedly, back in South Korea after moving back, JJ was fully involved in the family business. So we can assume that JJ was welcomed in with open arms if they're working at Paradise Group. The engagement photos, though, goofy goof. Why does it look like a melodramatic thriller kdrama poster where it's about two people who are married and they're like trying to kill each other? Just look at them. Just look at the pictures. Look at the pictures. And for you, honey, just
Yeah.
imagine it.
I'm trying.
I'm just picturing our photos.
So the night that the engagement was made public, Nami received a DM on Instagram. not the Hey Girl DM. I mean, honestly, the Hey Girl DM would have been a million times better than the DM that she actually got. She clicks open the DM and it reads, translated. So this is not me choosing the words, but translated. He's not rich. He's not from the US. He's not a Chaebol. He's from the countryside in South Korea. And he is not even a he.
Wait, who sent this?
A random DM to Nami. All hell broke loose. This became one of the biggest scandals in South Korea. Nobody could stop talking about it for months because of how bizarre this whole plot is.
My parents are still talking about this.
If I wrote a book about this, you guys would leave a 1-star Goodreads review and write another YouTuber without any talent, unbelievable plot, literally so many plot holes. It doesn't even make sense, okay? It's so unbelievable, disgusting, refund, I want it now. But this is real life. This is the story of how Korea's sweetheart fencing Olympian was scammed by a con artist pretending to be the illegitimate male heir to a conglomerate casino fortune worth billions of dollars, but they were assigned female at birth.
Okay.
And I cannot stress this enough. This is not, I repeat, a transgender story. This is not the story of an individual who is being brave and opening themselves up to the world to say, hey, no, guys, this is who I am. This is not that story. And I think most of us are really good at using our critical thinking skills, but just in case I need to clarify, like this case at its core has nothing to do with the transgender community and what it means to be transgender in today's world. And just in case I have not been clear enough already, I firmly believe that one of the most almost heartbreakingly beautiful things that an individual can do is fully embrace themselves for who they are, knowing that the world is going to ridicule them, reject them, potentially kill them, and try to convince them that they don't know themselves. I think that takes a level of courage and assuredness that should be celebrated. This case has nothing to do with that. This case is about an individual who wanted to scam people and was willing to become whatever chameleon to make it happen. Like, we're gonna get into it. JJ pretended to be all sorts of different people. An investor, an IT specialist, a Chaebol kid,
A horseback riding professional.
and unfortunately, JJ would also leverage traditional gender roles to have higher chances of succeeding in their scams. They would tell people that they were a man. They would then go around telling people that they were a woman, and then back and forth and back and forth. And they would, quote, switch back and forth 32 times. And a lot of doctors and experts who studied this case, they came out on Korean news stations and said, this has nothing to do with the transgender community. JJ is hurting the transgender community rather than being a representative of that community. This is just the story of a scam artist that turned themselves into whoever, so that they could scam people out of money. There is zero evidence that JJ ever presented as any other gender when there was not a scam involved. In most sources, they have just been switching the pronouns to he when JJ's scam involved being a man, and then she when JJ's scam involved being a woman. I'm just going to stick with they, them pronouns just because I guess I don't want to definitively say that they were not struggling with their gender identity. And I don't know how they identified. So the general consensus was that JJ would find a target, a victim to scam, and try to figure out the easiest way to scam them. If the victim was going to be a man, they believed the easiest way was to present as a woman, and vice versa. Yeah, that seems to be the general opinion on what JJ did, and not that JJ, again, was genuinely struggling with gender identity. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, sorry, super long disclaimer, but just sometimes people try to make something that it's not. There are roughly about 100,000 Amex Black Card holders in the world. American Express's Black Card is a status symbol. You have to be invited. And even if you have money, it doesn't mean you're going to get invited to be a Black Card holder. And it's not even clear the exact requirements to get a Black Card. Some say that you have to spend around $250,000 to $350,000 a year on a personal card, $500,000 a year on a business card. Other sources say, no, you got to spend at least $1 million on your Amex card every single year before American Express calls you and is like, hey, do you want a Black Card? You also need to have an insane high credit score above 800. Those are the soft requirements. Even if you hit those targets, that doesn't even guarantee you're going to be invited to be a centipede holder. Even if you're invited, you have to pay a one-time initial fee of $10,000 and an annual fee of $5,000 just to have a fancy They are really fancy though. They are really fancy. When I was working in retail, I saw one or two of them. They're really fancy. It's a clear status symbol, okay? I mean, the average black card holder at Amex has a net worth of at least $16 million. So JJ has the black Amex card. Only theirs wasn't real.
What?
Did you know there are services where you can send your credit card in?
No way.
And they will paint it to look like the black card.
Oh my god, that's so good. How do I get there?
It could be a Visa card, but it's painted to look like an Amex black card, and then you swipe it and it still works.
Yeah, but you swipe it, they're like, it's a Visa.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That's so weird.
Yeah. It looks identical to a black card. It's just wearing Amex black card clothes. It's a fake Centurion card. That's not even the worst part. It gets even crazier. So one of the more expensive lines that Mercedes has to offer, Mercedes-Benz, the car company, for example, Mercedes has the top of the line sedans, the S-Class. That starts at around $120,000. But the Maybach starts
Maybach music.
Yes, starts at around 200,000, like 194,000. I mean, of course, you could get used ones for a lot cheaper. And by a lot, I mean still a lot, but it's a huge difference between the S-Class and the Maybach. And that's a very expensive car either way, right? The Maybach. Well, JJ drove around in a Maybach, but it was fake.
Oh my god.
You're gonna die. You're gonna die. It was an S-Class.
Way.
It was an S-Class, still very expensive, but they took off the S-Class signage on the back and bought the fake Maybach signs online and glued it to the car.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so cringe.
Yeah. So clearly, JJ was not who they said they were. JJ was not the heir to the Paradise Group. JJ didn't even grow up in New York. JJ doesn't even speak English. Doesn't even know English, okay? Like, they're speaking Konglish, they don't know English. The day the interview of the engagement announcement went up, someone commented on the video, up until middle school, you were doing taekwondo. Why do you suddenly keep saying that you did horseback riding? The commentator also wrote, when she was training with me, this is what they wrote, when she was training with me, she was a woman. Right now, I don't know. After that first initial interview, JJ went on a few interviews to try and clarify some of these weird rumors. So these were just comments, and then people were writing articles, like all the tabloids were like, what's going on? Are we sure that this is the Paradise Group's error? They're trying to like dig into it. So as damage control, JJ starts doing these interviews, and they spoke with a YouTuber, and it's pretty cringe. It kind of sounds like, you know when you prepare answers for a job interview? But you've only prepped the answers for 10 questions. And then the job interviewer be going off script. And you're like, we didn't agree to that. So they ask you, what color is the sky? And somehow you have a convoluted answer and bring it back to why you are the most qualified candidate for this job. Like, because you,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Those
Yes.
are the words that you practice. So in the interview, JJ keeps doing that. Like, just keeps bringing it back to the 5 answers that they have scripted.
Like, what answers?
Like, you know, I don't want to dive too much into it because there are a lot of people involved. And I honestly, like, to me, it doesn't matter if I get hurt. I just don't really want other people to be burdened or hurt. They commented that that person on the YouTube comments has actually taken down their comment and apologized to JJ. But the reason that JJ didn't ask for that commentator to comment back on that YouTube and say, hey, actually, guys, that was a lie is because, you know, JJ's a good person and JJ doesn't really want that person to be under heat or fire or, you know, it's just, it's okay for me to be the bad guy, you know? And the YouTuber is like, what the fuck are you talking about? If the commenter comments back and is like, hey guys, I actually freaking lied. I don't know this person. JJ probably did grow up in New York. I've already apologized to JJ. That was a troll comment. The public would not give a fork. But JJ was like, nah. No. JJ was also asked like, hey, can you explain to us the exact relationship to the Chun chairman that you have? Like,
Hey, why don't they just ask them to speak some English? Just like introduce yourself, you know?
yeah, like elevator pitch us. Yeah. Give us like a icebreaker.
Disgusting shit.
Shit. 냄새. 무슨 disgusting한 냄새. And JJ is basically like, you know what? Let me think about this question. Let me think about my relationship with my father and get back to you on it. It was just really bizarre. Near the end, JJ almost like kind of checks out of the conversation, or at least it sounds like they're checking out, won't say anything, won't answer questions, just won't go off the script.
사안에 대해서 완전 회피를 하시다는 방법이 있고
네.
진솔하게 말씀하시는 부분이 있을 거라고 생각합니다.
알겠습니다.
네네. 내실 입장이 있을지 해가지고 연락드렸어요.
아니요, 저는 어떤 것도 얘기 안 할 거예요.
It's PR, but not PR. It's really weird. The YouTuber later even said, it's like they're playing a drama character. Like, I don't even understand what they're saying. They didn't answer a single question. They just kept answering the way they want to answer a question. Then childhood photos came up of JJ. They were leaked. Not only did JJ not grow up in New York, but JJ was born and raised in a not so great area in Incheon, like near the airport. JJ's parents owned karaoke bars, did not do well for themselves, which is fine. Nothing is wrong with that. But along with JJ's childhood photos, stories were coming out about how JJ was kind of an odd one. During high school, JJ would take pictures with cars that were not their cars and then post about it as if it was their car, which is just odd. One of the owners of the cars literally asked JJ, what the fuck are you doing on my car right now? And JJ would just pretend not to understand. Like,
Oh, sorry, I only speak English.
like I don't know. Okay.
Disgusting shit.
All of JJ's old friends stated JJ does not speak any English at all. But then JJ would get these mysterious phone calls and then pick up. I'm gonna die of secondhand embarrassment. Would just go to the corner and be like, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Next time. Yes. Okay. Yes. Disgusting shit. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Goodbye. For 10 minutes straight. Like, it wasn't even quick phone calls where it's like, hey, okay, yeah, thanks. It's like, yes, yes, got it.
I used to fantasize that when I was younger. I'm like, one day I'm gonna move to America.
I'm gonna move to America. Oh my God.
I'm gonna be like, yes.
That's so cute. Now, at one point, JJ pretended to die in high school. Yeah, sent out invitations of their funeral to everyone. And then when it was obviously revealed that JJ was not dead, JJ was like, sorry guys, I had amnesia. So October 24th, the police show up at the Signal residences, and it said that Nami looked at JJ genuinely stressed out, and she was pleading with them, like, you can tell me the truth. I really like you. I want to be with you. Even if you're not the son of the Paradise Group, just tell me, please. It's fine. Just tell me. And JJ told her that the media is lying. Nami still believed JJ. I mean, how could she not? Sometimes Nami would get text messages from the chairman of Paradise Group while JJ was asleep. How would JJ be able to do that? So she posted on her Instagram, I will take strong measures with no mercy for any false information spread with evil intent.
Oh.
JJ later posts, I will deal with the false rumors till the very end. For me, Nami and her daughter are the most important, precious things in the world. I have to protect those precious to me, and to protect those most precious things, I will do everything within my power. I feel like that was a bit of a run-on. I feel like that could have been more concise. You know?
Yeah.
But tell me why Dispatch is everywhere. Like, why do they have their fingers in everybody's pies? Dispatch drops an article soon after and everything blows up even more. Detonates. It's like a full breakdown of all of JJ's past crimes because JJ has a criminal record. JJ is a criminal con artist and has scammed people out of nearly $3 million.
Wow.
Changing occupations, changing genders, so to quote, right, to scam people. April 2018, JJ meets a man on a dating app while presenting as a woman. They start dating and JJ talks on and on about being a career horse taker, caretaker, horseback riding, I don't know, equestrian. Anyway, out of the blue, JJ calls this man frantic, saying they broke a really expensive saddle and the man wired JJ the money to replace it. And every day, JJ just kept doing this. There was a dead horse. Oh, I need $17,000 from loan sharks. I killed another horse. I need $3,000 to buy a new horse. Oh my gosh, it was just nonstop. At one point, JJ was like, I'm pregnant. You gotta send me money for this pregnancy. In the end, JJ robbed this man of $44,000. Another one of JJ's favorite scams was to reach out to people that they were dating, seeing, talking to, again, presenting as a man or a woman. Just to reiterate, there was no point in time where JJ said, from this point forward, I would like to be addressed as like he, him, you know? 32 times back and forth. That's why a lot of experts are saying, yeah, no, like this is not, that's not what we're talking about right now. Just like, we'll do anything to scam people. Presenting as whoever, whatever occupation, anything. And They'd be like, hey, I'm in the US right now and my banks are frozen. I need to get back to South Korea. Can you wire me the flight money? I'll pay you back when I get back to South Korea. People would wire them the money and they would never get it back while JJ was sitting in Korea and just ghosting them. Never went to the US. Yeah. April 2019, JJ approached a woman presenting as a man, stating that, quote, his wife was a successful water company owner. I don't know what that means. I don't know if she was like running sewage. She's not real. So we don't have to speculate, okay? I don't know if that's like a bottled water company. I don't know. But JJ tells this person, hey, just invest $2,314 with my wife. And after 6 months, you will receive $3.8 million in returns. Charlie Munger is rolling over in his grave right now at those returns. August 2019, JJ started a job recruiting scam and pretended to be two different people, a recruiting employee and a recruiting manager. JJ was scamming these victims who were just looking for jobs out of a $700 application background check, random unnecessary fees. One time, one of the victims even posted online about how this job recruiter was a scam artist and JJ threatened to sue them unless they paid them $4,000. This person was so terrified of a lawsuit that they paid JJ $4,000. September 2019, JJ targets a man named Mr. B. JJ is presenting as a woman and JJ tries to get him to marry them. And I guess he agrees. And if I'm not mistaken, JJ pretended to be pregnant as well. This is what they would do with a lot of their male victims. Like would pretend to get pregnant and then ask like, you gotta 책임져, which means take responsibility and marry me. Now in Korea, traditionally, the husband is often known for buying the marital home. So JJ would ask them for the deposit to put down on their marital home and then just ghost them. Yeah. Side note, JJ would bring their boyfriends home to introduce to their mom. Paid actress. Paid actress with the script and everything.
I feel like I heard this story a couple times already.
Yeah, they call JJ the Anna Delvey of South Korea.
It's always that, huh?
Always the paid actress. I mean, that seems like a bustling industry we should get in. I should be the paid actress mom.
Yeah, you'll be pretty good.
Thank you so much.
우리 아들 너무 피곤하지.
Disgusting shit.
And then the craziest bombshell that was revealed by Dispatch. JJ was married once before. In 2017, JJ married another person, another woman. And this woman was under the impression that JJ was assigned male at birth. Yeah, was under the impression that JJ was a man. And JJ would bandage their chest in the restroom every single day. And later, everyone would wonder how the ex-wife did not know. But she stated that she genuinely didn't know. And it's suspected by online netizens that JJ used a very realistic attachment that you would not be able to tell in dim lighting if it was real flesh or not. If that makes sense. The ex-wife would also state that they never had too many intimate times. And they would always do it with the lights off. Now, it's crazy, but JJ did the same thing to Nami. Nami said that JJ kept telling her she seemed pregnant, which is kind of odd when you think about it. Like, I would imagine, since Nami already had a kid, that if anyone felt like she was pregnant before she took a test, it would be herself, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she'd be the most in tune with her body, like, oh, wait a minute. So Nami is like, I don't think I'm pregnant. But JJ kept pressuring her to take a pregnancy test. And when she did, they were positive. She takes another one in the house, pregnant, positive, positive, positive. 10 positive pregnancy tests later, Nami's confused because first of all, she does not feel pregnant at all. And she's even thinking maybe I'm having a boy then because I don't feel pregnant. And second of all, she knew at this point that JJ was assigned female at birth. So she's like, how am I pregnant? I don't get it. But JJ had told her that they had a testicle transfer, basically stating that JJ was the heir to a huge fortune. So obviously they get elite medical care that the general population the Gen Pop does not have access to. JJ was able to pay for state-of-the-art medical innovations like a testy transfer. So JJ said JJ's twin brother, suddenly there's a twin brother involved. Okay. I don't know, okay.
What about the twin brother?
Gave them a testy.
Just one.
Didn't happen though, okay? This type of procedure is not feasible, at least from what I know. One urologist told a Korean news network, like, for that to be possible, the doctor who performed that surgery for JJ would be winning a Nobel Prize. The doctor said so many factors come into play. Like the testy transfer itself, I think is feasible, but the fact that you can impregnate after that is... it's not just the organ that the patient needs. It's a very specific cocktail of hormones that would be needed. It's not done yet. But Nami seemingly does not question it, which I guess makes sense, because I don't know if I would question it either. Anyway, Nami goes to her sister's place and gets a pregnancy test, and it shows her that she's not pregnant. So now she's confused. Is she pregnant or not? All the while, JJ is on the side like, no, baby, I'm a 책임져. I'm going to take responsibility. Let's get married and have a family.
Wow.
Nami-
Is Nami rich?
I would say more so than rich. Nami has a spectacular reputation. People would trust her.
I see.
So to get investments,
yeah.
seed money, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she probably has a good circle
Yes.
of people to tap into.
Damn, playing chess.
Yeah. So Nami is so confused. Just to get confirmation, she goes to her gynecologist, and as she's sitting in the exam room with the doctor, she hears a commotion outside in the waiting room. She hears screaming, "Where is Nami?" The nurse is heard saying, "No, sir, you can't do this. You can't go in there." Followed by a, "Where is she?" There's like footsteps. The door bursts open. The nurse barges in and is like, "I'm so sorry, doctor, but the patient's son is here. He's very upset."
Patient's son?
JJ is 15 years younger than Nami, so the nurse mistook them for Nami's son.
You didn't say that.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah, 15 years younger. Which is fine. I mean, they're both adults, but K-netizens thought it was just kind of a goofy lining to the whole thing. Like, how sad would that be?
Your son is...
Yeah. I would never go back to that doctor's office. I could never do it. When that dispatch article was released, Nami's family drove to the residence, and she straight up asked JJ, "Are you really the granddaughter of that family then?" Because now JJ's saying, "Okay, fine, I'm assigned female at birth, and I'm not the son, I'm the daughter." Yeah. And she's saying, "I don't know anymore. Like, everything in this article, is it true?" JJ says, "Some of it's true, some of it's not." It's giving the Golden Globes. It's giving Joe Coy. Some I wrote, some other people wrote. JJ basically said, "Some of it's true, some of it's not true." Like, what? What? So Nami just stares at JJ and said, "How am I supposed to live in Korea anymore? Do I have to leave the country?" So, side note, Nami is correct on feeling scared about her future. A lot of K-netizens do not see her purely as a victim. Others feel suspicious of her. So, allegedly, some of the victims sent their money to Nami's bank account. But again, Nami could have been oblivious to it, or she could have been told that it was for a very specific, reasonable purpose that is not a scam.
Wait, who sent money to Nami?
Some of the victims of JJ sent money to Nami's bank account.
Meanwhile? What?
Like, crap, help!
Wait, where? Are you serious? Right here? It's okay. You have to get up.
Okay, do that again.
Do that again. You gotta stretch, honey. You need to stretch.
Please save me, please.
He's getting better. It's coming back! It's coming back! It's coming back! Just chop it off! Just chop it off!
Shut up. Don't move too much. Slowly. Slowly.
Unless they drink more water.
So after dispatch,
Can you massage my leg?
after dispatch released the article, her parents basically had to come to the residence and tell her, "Hey, 정신 차려, get your head out of your butt crack." So Nami decides she's gonna pack up all her bags and leave. She takes all of her gifts, her jewelry, her purses, literally everything, okay? Tech gear, everything that JJ had ever gifted her. She's taken it. JJ sees her, watching her take everything. but flowers that he had given her. And those were some expensive, never dying flowers. You know what I'm talking about? The brand name flowers. And JJ just says, but what about the flowers? Those flowers cost $3,000. Anyway, while Nami is packing her bags, she sees a phone that she doesn't recognize. She opens it up, and the phone number that she believed were her future in-laws, JJ had been texting her, pretending to be his fake Chaebol parents. And he had used an app so that those text messages could be sent at a time where JJ was not on his phone, where it didn't look like JJ had sent them. So of course, Nami's gonna believe that it was from Paradise Group's family members. JJ was taken into the police station to be investigated for, wide-scale fraud. But this is crazy. The police actually let JJ go home because JJ told them, I don't want to say, and I quote because it's translated, but I had no sleep and food for almost 3 days. I feel like I'm going to die. They were allowed to go back home. And then they immediately deleted their Instagram. When a reporter tried to contact them to talk about the whole case, they just screamed into the phone, I'm not JJ!
Oh, what?
Yeah, which a lot of netizens were like, what? So if I'm hungry, I can avoid jail time after fraud?
Oh.
You're putting your whole wussy into this one today.
Anyway, JJ cannot come within a certain distance of Nami. And they gave Nami this smartwatch and told her that if she sees JJ, just click the smartwatch. I mean, the whole thing was bizarre, especially considering the fact that this wasn't even JJ's first time going to jail. A few years before meeting Nami, JJ was sitting in prison. Actually, a few months before meeting Nami, JJ was sitting in prison.
What?
JJ had been sentenced to 2 years and 3 months in prison for fraud and scamming people. And it seems like it was a family business. JJ's dad was not the Paradise Group chairman, but
Another scam artist?
a scam artist.
Wow.
He used the same tactics to find victims and drown them with these big investment promises and small gifts. JJ's dad, who is now 60-something, is publicly wanted for defrauding people out of over $1 million.
Wow.
He was recently arrested, though.
See, my question is, when JJ came out saying they're part of this whatever Chaebol family, why didn't they say something?
The Chaebols?
Yeah.
Oh, they do later.
Oh.
You're gonna die. This isn't the first time that someone pretended to be a part of this Chaebol family, like high profile.
I bet they're confused.
Yeah.
They're like, maybe.
They're like, Dad?
And the dad goes like, shit.
I did send like 10 of them to New York.
Because like that would be the first thing you do.
Yeah, because you'd be like, Dad, and then he'd be like, absolutely not. Where are my attorneys?
Yeah.
Yeah. But JJ's dad was a little bit smarter than JJ because he would actually steal people's identities and then scam other people using those people's names. Yeah. So JJ would actually scam people using their government name. Government name. People were like, why? Anyway, I feel like I shouldn't be laying down right now. This is getting really sad.
Oh, yeah. Guys,
Blood, sweat, and tears went into this one.
it's a dangerous job.
Anyway, JJ would scam people with their real government name. And so this is a lot of people. I mean, one of the saddest cases was JJ scammed someone who, I don't know the financial status of a lot of people that JJ scammed because a lot of them were remaining anonymous. But one person took out loans because they didn't have money, but they believed in JJ's promises of a return. So it was just really unfortunate. Anyway, while JJ was in prison, JJ also lied about being pregnant so that the other inmates would baby JJ and do all of the chores for them instead. But then they were all pissed when the whole thing turned out to be a giant lie. JJ also told all of them, all the other inmates, of, I guess, their sick plans after they got out. They were gonna, quote, do business with the upper class. That's what they said. I'm going to get out of here and do business with the upper class. And in order to mingle with the upper class, you have to learn advanced sports. Skiing, fencing, archery, rich people sports, horseback riding. So we can assume that's why JJ wanted to learn fencing immediately after getting out of prison. Oh, side note, JJ was also married while they were in prison. Married a man this time. Because apparently in Korea, if you get married, the courts might be easier on you and let you get released early. Is that not crazy? So JJ was also violent in prison. JJ allegedly beat up an inmate to the point of blood being splattered. I don't know, this is alleged, but people describe JJ as completely losing it and just plummeting another inmate. Guards also said that JJ would just randomly switch their temper and would even try to attack the guards at any given point. So clearly a lot is coming out about JJ, and everyone is like re-examining everything in JJ's relationship with Nami. And remember the engagement photos of the two? So JJ is constantly pulling at their ear in the photos. It's kind of weird. It's like a weird pose. It's not one that you would normally do, especially in engagement photos. Maybe in one picture it's cute, but it's kind of an odd pose to take. Many netizens now think it's because JJ was trying to look even more similar to the real Paradise Group Chun family. There's not that many pictures of the real heir to the Paradise Group, but there is a famous baby photo where the family took a photo with the chairman, his wife, and their 3 heir kids. And if you look closely, the youngest son does kind of look like JJ, but the son of the heir family, no offense to the billionaire, but like kind of has big ears. But you know what?
In the world?
Big ears in Korea means prosperity. It means success and money. So it seemed like, I don't know.
Big love bring me good fortune.
So JJ's pulling at their ears in the photo, potentially theorized by netizens, to try and look like the older version of that boy in the photo. So then JJ, remember how they rented the Signal Tower residence, right? They did it so that they could network. Like they ended up networking with YouTubers that focused on finance. Yeah, crazy. But they also would go around to these fellow investors in the tower and they would say, "Hi, I'm JJ, like part of the Chun family of Paradise Group, and I'm a major stockholder at Nvidia." At one point at one of these meetings, JJ allegedly took out their phone, opened up their bank app, like while people are looking at their phone, opened up the bank app. So like imagine you click the Wells Fargo Bank of America bank app in front of the person that you're showing your phone to, click in, and it like authenticates your face. You get in, and the balance is showing $30 billion. I don't know how they faked that.
What? So they flex their fake bank account.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is gnarly. I don't think anyone has that. I mean, what do I know, right? I just can't imagine someone having that in their bank account. $30 billion, like just cash. Even if you say you do, that is a literal death wish to show someone your bank balance. I mean, I would argue not only is it incredibly dumb, it's stupid to the point of being unbelievable. But a lot of these people just could not get over the excitement of knowing someone that was so well connected, so powerful, so wealthy, and so knowledgeable. So a lot of them would actually invest. And there was actually this ironic part.
That's funny because they're like, here's my $30 billion net worth, but like, give me $200.
Yeah, for investments, because it's worth my time for sure. Yeah. Give it to me. And then there's this one part where JJ in a lecture literally says, and this part is ironic now, "I look like a scam artist, don't I?" And everyone just starts laughing because they thought it was a joke. Yeah.
Wow, they're bold.
Yeah. Another thing that happened was it's very clear that JJ is not from New York, yes? But like people were wondering, why New York? Why not Beverly Hills? Why not Los Angeles, Connecticut? I don't know, the Hamptons. Why New York? It's kind of random. Well, JJ's middle school friends came out to say that JJ during school days was obsessed with a local street food restaurant called New York, New York. And this blew up. The local restaurant started blowing up. The owner of the restaurant said that they were on the verge of shutting down, but now with this newfound reception, they will keep their doors open. So I guess something good came out of it. Like the restaurant is so popular that they would even close early, multiple days, because they run out of ingredients.
Whoa.
And a lot of the reviews are in Konglish to make fun of JJ. So it's clear they're coming to support the restaurant, support the meme, and make fun of JJ. They would write reviews like, "outside에서 waiting 없이 들어왔어요. 매장 very, very wide." It's like I was outside without waiting, and the restaurant is very, very wide. Like the way that people, yeah. And once JJ was released from police custody, JJ got on a domestic flight, flew to like the countryside, and October 31st, JJ does an interview, and it feels like JJ is trying to just throw Nami under the rug, under the bus. JJ is just like, I didn't make any money from this. I paid for Nami's mortgage. I bought her a car. I gave Nami's daughter money. I gave Nami's mom money. I bought Nami luxury items and paid off her credit card debt. I did not save or collect money. I will tell the police everything they want to know. I don't have any intention of hiding anything. Whatever punishment I receive, I will face it.
Wait, they actually bought her that much stuff?
Yeah, but
With
I don't
what
think
money?
so.
Scam money?
Yes. Okay, so it seems like JJ was playing the long game and using all of their old scam money or current, like while they're scamming, to use it on Nami so that they can marry Nami. And once they're married and getting some of this PR, I'm assuming this publicity, they can go out and easily scam the upper echelons of society. But like, what's your plan after that?
Yeah.
I don't know. But after all of this went down, JJ did talk about wanting to be a man and transitioning. But a lot of experts, again, stated it felt like they were trying to sidetrack the conversation to try to prove a point. Yeah, I don't know. But what's wild is that this isn't even the first time a high-profile scam involving the Paradise Group took place. Because the Chaebol family of Paradise Group are so secretive, con artists love using them as part of their scam. In 2003, an actor, Kim Sang-jung, broke off his engagement after his fiancée lied about being the Chun daughter. Then in 2017, a famous performance artist named Nancy Lang married and then divorced a man who also pretended to be the Chun son. To be fair, that was actually part of the Chun family, that man. He was Chun's 44th cousin, which you know what else they call the 44th cousin?
44th?
Yeah.
What?
A stranger. Like, they do not know each other. They have no connections in the business. They're strangers. If the 44th cousin applied and put that on their application, doesn't matter. It's not going to get them nowhere, okay? Paradise Group made a public statement about this whole scam with JJ and stated, baseless claims about the Paradise Company have been spreading online in relation to JJ, which is severely detrimental to our reputation and image. So ultimately...
Wait, so what's going on? JJ's in jail?
Yeah,
outside?
so JJ and their father are in custody right now. Yeah, and there are some K netizens questioning how Nami did not know, if Nami knew, if Nami was willing to turn a blind eye for the scams. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this case? Please let me know in the comments. And sorry for all the screaming. Yeah, I gotta exercise. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.